Yo. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorilla is in the building, hitting y'all upside the head with this paper, this afternoon paper, actually. Why is it so, why does it look dusty? Anyway, yeah, I'm quite late with this live stream. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but here I am now. I'm doing it now. As I make my way to the gym, I want to talk to you guys about this. I want to talk to you guys about Australia, okay? The breeding ground for rights infringements, okay? The breeding ground for rights infringements to the level that they can only do this because they have stripped the people of the right to keep and bear arms. They don't have the Constitution like we have in the United States. They don't have over 400 million firearms. They don't have the balls either to stand up to their government. Now, we don't really have the balls either, but we have more balls than they do, okay? As you guys are aware, there was a mass situation in Bondi Beach in Australia where 15 people were deleted by what they say were two Islamic extremists. I call bullshit. I call it red flag. That's what I call it. I call Zionist red flag. And as a result of this Zionist red flag, they have achieved something that they want to implement all around the world. Now, it's still in progress, but trust and believe the way the Australian government works, they're likely going to achieve what they're setting out to do. Salute to Latressa Montgomery in the building. Salute to you. They are going to strip people in Australia of their rights to free speech to a huge degree, particularly in the name of Zionism, in the name of protecting Israel from any type of criticism, any type of honesty about what they're doing all over the world, right? Any criticism about their genocide in Palestine, they are going to infringe more upon the people's rights to free speech, their right to symbols, right? So they're going after symbols, okay? In Australia, they're going after symbols, they're going after speech, and of course, they're going after firearms as well. They want to implement another forced buyback, which is just a confiscation. That's really all it is. This is what they want to do, okay? This is something that and mind you, Benjamin Nosferatu blamed the government of Australia for the situation, right, at Bondi Beach, or however you want to pronounce it, because they pushed to recognize Palestine as a state. Israel doesn't like that. They don't like when other sovereign nations have their sovereignty. They want nothing. They don't want that. Salute to Orange Lily for you. Salute to the Queen. So, this is what we got. Okay? Now, this is no surprise. It's Australia, right? I mean, Australia, they really don't have any rights. Well, they do have rights, right? They have rights. The government just doesn't give a fuck. We saw this during the COVID-19 pandemic, how they had maybe one or two people that had COVID, and they shut the whole damn country down because one or two people had COVID. Right? They forced people to remain in their homes. They had encampments, right? They had encampments. They had people who contracted COVID or was exposed to COVID, they kept them in camps, right? And they brought them food. They could only step out onto the porch of their little bungalow that the government made for them. This is Australia, okay? Now, mind you, the goal of the Zionists in the United States is to have the same power over the people like the government in Australia does. That's just reality, okay? And this is a Zionist plan, right? It's easy for them to do what they want to do when the people are not empowered, okay? What is happening in Australia is that the people are not being empowered. Actually, the opposite is happening. They're stripping individual sovereignty and individual power away from the people in Australia, one dumbass law at a time. Man-made laws are dumb as fuck. Let's just get that out there. All right? Man-made laws are dumb, they're a waste of time, and they're a waste of money. You understand what I'm saying? This is just, I'm just telling you guys what it is. And when you give too much of your power to these elite class motherfuckers by way of the government, this is what happens. This is what they're attempting to do in the United States. It's much more difficult in the United States because, well, we have a little bit more balls and we stand on our nuts just a little bit more, right? But when you have individuals, and I think I'm going to do some content on this. I think I'm going to do a live stream about cats like Ben Shapiro, Tim Kiddie Pool, or Tim Puddle, as I like to refer to him, and Alex Nunez. What the fuck is that dude's name? Ben Nunez? What? Nunez, the Nunez cat, the dumbass. These motherfuckers have the worst, most annoying voices in the world, and people love them. I don't understand it, and they sound dumb as fuck. Salute to Mahari Nation in the building. Yeah, Nick Fuentes. Yeah, what did I call him? That clown. These are the individuals that are going to take over the country. I hope you guys understand that. This is what they're pushing. Effeminate, whiny motherfuckers that shit on women any chance they get, that argue with women on the internet. These are the people that they are pushing as leaders in this nation. And when they do become leaders, they will lead your ass right down into the path. They will lead you right to the slaughterhouse. Right? They will lead you to the meat grinder. And they'll be turning the fucking wheel of the meat grinder. If you don't have electricity, you got to turn the wheel. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. These are the type of individuals that they are looking to lead the conservative movement in the nation. And then you got on the Democrat side, I mean, what do you got over there? Both sides are ass. Both sides are ass. Both sides are impotent. Both sides are both bought and paid for by big money interest. And you guys know what I mean. Those of you who support me and who have been consuming my content. When I say big money interest, I am referring to the special interest groups, the banks, big pharma, the military industrial complex, the private prison industrial complex. Because these are the individuals that get represented by our so-called representatives. And so both sides are fucknuts. Both sides are wasting our time. Both sides will not lead you to freedom. You know why? Even if they do intend to do so, I'm going to tell you why they can't. Because, well, you can't participate in the system that oppresses you to remove the chains of oppression, right? Every time you try to do that, well, you get you get hogtied, or you have to fall in. If you don't fall in, they censor you. They remove you from committees. They make you become impotent because you are trying to use the system of oppression to stop oppression. Well, that is not going to work. It never will. They have been trying this for over 200 years. Yes, please double tap that screen and hit the like button, y'all. Trilateral commission. Salute. Yes, orange lily for you. Yes, Ben Shapiro is a lame duck. But that's okay because they have cats like Nick Fuentes to replace him. Another tiny, impotent homosexual. That's what they got. That's what they got. That's what they got for the conservative side. Right? And the path leads to Australia. The same shit they got going on in Australia, that's the same shit they're going to have going on right here in the United States. If we continue to allow these people to operate as they see fit. You probably get robbed every day? Sure. I get robbed every day. Why not? Yes. So in Australia, the Zionists have won in Australia. The false flag that what I believe was a false flag, it worked. It worked out for them. Now they get to have things happen for them that otherwise wouldn't have. And this is what is the same thing is happening in the United States, by the way. When they do these anti-Semitic bills or these anti-Semitic executive actions in the colleges and all that stuff, it just starts in the college, right? Because they know they can make it happen there. They know that they can get away with it at the colleges, at the college level. They want to implement that across the entire nation. The most protected class in the United States is Israel. Anything Israel, anything Zionist. The least protected class is the children. Believe it or not. It's just reality. Orange Lily for you says, I want to homestead with a good man, grow my own plant-based foods, and mind my business. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. That is a great goal. But see, the problem with that is in this country is that they won't let you mind your business because they're going to come after you for a property tax. And if you don't pay the property tax, they'll put a lien on your property and they'll come take your property. That's the problem. Does that make sense to y'all? Okay, little kitty pie. Anyway, does that make sense to y'all? You own your property outright. You bought it. You paid for it. But you're paying taxes for some shit that you already own? What if you have your own energy system? What if you have your own power supply? You have your own power supply, you have your own well, and you have a septic tank. You're completely self-sufficient, self-sustainable. What do you need to pay taxes for? They'll still expect you to pay property tax. And guess what? In some towns, in some cities, in some states, if you try to become self-sufficient and get off the grid, they'll fine you for it. Yeah, in some states, it's illegal. It's illegal to be off grid 100%. They want you to stay tied into the system. And in a lot of cases, if you do have like a solar panel, you have a solar system, you got a solar array to power your home, you got a battery backup generator, and everything you need to create biofuel for your generator, guess what happens? They want you to tie to their meter. You got to get a permit, and you got to tie to they have to put a meter between your solar system and their power grid so that If you have any extra power generated by your solar, it goes back onto the grid, but they can also monitor and cut your shit off if they feel like it. Now, electricians like myself know how to bypass that, right? But not, again, you can bypass it. I mean, you could always just tie straight to you can bypass their stupid ass meter, right? Uh, if they find out you did it, though, they'll fine you and they'll try to throw you in prison. This is what these people do. I was reading a story where the government took this guy's beehives, took his beehives, stole his beehives from him. Exactly, Devontae Johnson. It is rent. You don't own your shows anymore. No, you don't. I had the story in my email, and I don't have my other phone. Otherwise, I would read to you. They stole this old man's beehives. Hundreds of beehives or dozens of beehives or something like that. Stole it from him. He was stressing and tripping out. That was his livelihood. They took his beehives. He had to fight like hell to get his beehives back. The government stole his beehives off his own fucking property, came and took his shit. This is what our government does. I don't see a Democrat or a Republican standing up against that nonsense. When is a Democrat or a Republican that you guys love so much, when are they going to step in and say, there's too much government overreach and we need to start abolishing all these government agencies? When have they done it? Trump acted like he was going to do it when Am I back, guys? Brain salute. Give me a Romeo and a Charlie if I'm back, guys. And make sure you hit that like button. Double tap that screen. All right, I appreciate you, Boiling Frog. Thank you. Thank you, Orange Lily, for you. Salute to you, Devontae. Now they created those and shut down all these government agencies, but what did it amount to? Right? They didn't shut down the IRS. They didn't shut down the IRS. They didn't shut down the FBI, the ATF. They didn't do wasteful. What did they do? They took all that money and they put it. They increased the budget for the military industrial complex. Not so that those military members can do what they were paid to do, what they signed and what they swore to do when they joined, which was defend the Constitution and defend the people. No, to work for the banks, to go about the world and start seizing oil tankers from sovereign nations and fucking around in Syria and fucking around in all these other places, fucking around in the ocean, blowing up tiny boats. That's what they did that for. Salute to you, Devontae. I appreciate you, brother. All this is a Zionist movement, all of it. See, Zionist isn't about just Israel or Jews. It's a philosophy and ideology. It's about control, right? That's what it's all about. You don't have to be a Jew. You can be a Christian, Jewish. It doesn't matter. They all work together to implement their will, right? Which is to control and to have access to your children. That's what they want. You see, the perfect example of this is Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a Zionist who wielded power through his child sex trade. That's what he did. Perfect example of how all of these motherfuckers operate, what they want, right? Which is to have their way with your children. And guess what Jeffrey Epstein did? He used that desire for these sick motherfuckers to control them and to have what he wanted in this world. That's pure Zionism. And of course, he didn't want to be known for that, right? He moved and moved and shook behind the scenes, right? He wasn't a movie star. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't a governor or president. He wasn't none of that shit. Who even knows what the fuck his official job was? Brian Kenny says, we have a common enemy. We need to stay together. 100%. He was a banker. Exactly. I don't know that for sure. I think he might have been something to do with that. So if he was a banker or a money man, right? If he operated within that realm, kind of like Wilbur Ross, you know, the guy that bailed Donald Trump out when he worked for Rothschild Inc. Those are the guys that really run shit. Alan Greenspan. He wasn't a politician. He was the head of the Federal Reserve. He was a power broker. He ran the banks. That's what they do. These bankers run shit. The big money interest, that's who runs shit. What did Alan Greenspan say when they asked him, does it matter who's the president? He said, as long as they don't fuck with us, yeah, they can. Anyway, I don't care who the president is. They don't care who the president is. They don't care if a Democrat controlled house or Republican controlled house is in existence. They don't care about none of that. What they care about is having that government, no matter who is in office, who is in control, having them operate and act on their behalf. Because that's who your favorite politicians work for. That's who they represent. That's who they pass bills for. This is what they do. Bull and Frog says the British Crown represents the banks, amongst other things. Right? But even the British Crown, they have people over them that run shit, that really gets what they want done. It's never about the people. It's not at all. It's never about the people. It's never about, the government doesn't work for you, just so y'all know. Now, we pay them, right, through extortion, right? We pay them, and then they take our money and they do what they want with it, but they don't work for us at all. Clint Perry says it's like 12 families rule the earth. However many families, you'll never be a part of the family. That's what needs to be understood. Now, in Australia, Benjamin Nosferatu was able to shame them into infringing on the rights of their own people on the behalf of Israel. When the best thing to do, when faced with the danger of a potential mass situation, is to empower the people, allow them to arm themselves, so that when someone pulls out their gun and tries to start shooting people, well, guess what? You got that motherfucker over there with a gun. You got that motherfucker over there with a gun with good intentions that'll pull their own shit out and end it right then and there. So that if you're in a crowd and you're trying to take out a bunch of people, and most of them are armed, you might take out what, one or two people. You got the jump on them. You got the element of surprise. But guess what? You only get a couple before you get taken out. That's the way to do it. Brian Kitty says unity scares them more than anything. Absolutely. Walker DLM says Mr. Astor died on the Titanic. He owned the majority of real estate in America at the time, 1912. Then came the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. Yes. It wasn't just him on the Titanic. There were other people on the Titanic that had, I forgot what they called, they had this meeting. Or they were supposed to have a meeting. The bottom line is, the only reason that Australia can do what they want to do, the government, is because, well, they never really were empowered to begin with. They never really had firearms, and they never really had anything. They didn't have this constitution, or whatever you want to call it. They didn't have that, right? So when the people of Australia are conditioned to do whatever the government wants them to do, no matter what, and allow the government to do as they choose. So if the government says, okay, there was a mass situation, we're going to take your firearms, they're just going to be like, okay, no resistance. They've been conditioned, right? It's easy. This is the American dream for the elite class right here in the United States. That's the dream for the United States. That's what they really want. And if they can make that happen, yeah, they're really getting somewhere, right? Anyway, guys, that's all I got for now. About to get up in this gym. I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention that they are going to be implementing, which they feel like it's going to pass. So it has this new law, this new bill, I believe, is going to have something to do with symbols, threats, certain rhetoric on the internet. It's going to have to do with protesting, right? And saying things. If you say things like free Palestine, or if you spew pro-Palestinian rhetoric, you will get penalized. And there are a number of other things in this packet that they want to implement, which probably will happen because they're not going to get any resistance. Yes, leaders of the round table. Orange Lily for you says, was the singing of it intentional? What are you referring to? Evidently, you don't live in the woods. No, I don't live in the woods. Well, actually, I do. Technically, I do live in the woods. My house is surrounded by the woods, actually. So you're wrong. Anyway, I don't live. No, I'm not running around in a loincloth and living in a treehouse. But I do live in the woods, actually. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going to be in there. And it's going to easily, just like in Canada, anytime they want to take rights away from people in Canada, they just do it, right? They just go ahead and do it. There's really no controversy behind it. But these are the countries they tell us to look up to as the most beloved countries in the world. Oh, look at Canada. Canada's so great. Look at the UK. The UK this and the Australia that. Yeah, that's what they want. You like that orange lady for you? Salute to you, Queen. Salute to the Queen, orange lily for you. I appreciate you. Now, that's what I got. Hopefully I'll have time tomorrow to bring you guys some more content. I've been pretty swamped at work lately. You know, getting some shit done. So, but it's all good. I enjoy it. And yeah, we're gonna keep it pushing. All right, so I'll let you guys later. Salute to Rob Curtis. Thank you for dropping that $50 super chat on your boy, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Rob Curtis. Salute to you. I need receipts for my statements. What statements do I need receipts for? But thank you so much, Rob Curtis, dropping that $50 super chat. Man, that's really dope, man. I really appreciate the support. Salute to you, man. Thank you. What do you need me to bring receipts for? James, Canada. What about Canada? What receipts do you want? Anyway, man, I really appreciate. Thank you, Rob Curtis. Thank you so much, man. And thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for leaving the comments. Thank you for all the support. Canada statement. What Canada statement? What Canada statement? Every time they want to infringe on your rights, they just do it. Justin Trudeau, when he was running shit, he just come out, yeah, we're gonna go after the this pistol and that pistol. Yeah, we're gonna take that. You can't sell a pistol. You can't, and it happened. Like, what are you talking about? Simple as a pimple. Anyway, much love. Like, share, subscribe, man. Y'all go out there, get out there and get fit, stay fit. And yeah, let's keep marching forward toward freedom and truth. And don't let these devils bring you down, Pippin. Peace.